Michigan's now won back-to-back Big Ten titles, and now they're looking to add national title to that. They're looking to add a national championship. And last year, they weren't able to do that, but this year, they're really more focused on that bigger goal. We're going to take a look at how they beat TCU first and the players that are going to play a big impact, a big role in that win. Now, three guys for Michigan. Again, if you're a Michigan fan, you know who these guys are. Donovan Edwards, to me, has been the biggest exciting player, maybe not surprised, exciting player for Michigan's offense. His ability to step up in Blake Corum's absence has been a big reason why Michigan's offense has been so successful as of late. And we've seen that the last two games, the Ohio State game especially, but even you look at the Purdue, the Big Ten championship, he was really good there. On the defensive side of the ball, Mazi Smith is going to play a huge role in getting to Max Duggan and slowing down that TCU offense. The ability to command attention in the middle against a good TCU offensive line is going to determine how disruptive Michigan's defense can be. And then finally, back to the offense, JJ McCarthy has been pretty good for Michigan's offense. The biggest thing is that he's taking care of the football and he is making the right reads. I think that if he is going to win a national championship for Michigan, he's going to have to take his game to the next level. But this is still a guy who is very good. I think that he's improving every single game, and he is going to be probably the biggest X factor in whether or not Michigan can win a national championship. Now, the big names that Michigan fans need to know, the first one, Quentin Johnston, an absolute monster at 6'4", 215 pounds. Now, keep in mind, this is a big guy, but he can really move like a guy smaller than him. He has the quickness to be able to make guys miss, and he is the biggest reason why Max Duggan has been so successful, because of his ability to make adjustments, to be able to create mismatches just because of his size and his speed. Max Duggan is the other one. Over 3,300 yards, going to be in the conversation for the Heisman. His game against Kansas State in the Big 12 championship was an inspiring one, and it's starting this story that sounds like a feel-good story. Now, Michigan is hoping to play spoiler to that, but he is someone that they need to focus on, and we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. On the defensive side of the ball, Dylan Horton's having a good year, 11 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks. You're looking at someone who is going to be a big playmaker for them. I think that if Michigan's offensive line continues to play the way they've been playing, he's not going to be a factor, but that is someone that they definitely have to negate. Now, the keys to the game kind of coincide with the players that are on TCU that Michigan fans need to watch. The first one is take away Quentin Johnston deep. Johnston's an absolute beast, and you're going to have to find ways to take him out of the game. Now, there are teams that have done that this year in the Big 12, and I think Michigan's going to find what did those teams do really well to take him away. At 6'4", it's kind of hard to guard him because he's so big, because he's so talented at the catch point, and because he has that speed that creates mismatches. I think Michigan has the DBs to be able to run with him, but you're going to have to find ways to take him out of the game. And even if you do, there are still other guys like Savion Williams, Tay Barber, Darius Davis. TCU has a number of big-time wide receivers, but I think if you're going to take away one player, you have to take away Quentin Johnston. That's just something you're going to have to do. He is the biggest threat to Michigan's defense that's on TCU's offense, and you're going to have to find ways to take him away. TCU's offense is the most dangerous when Quentin Johnston is playing a big role in it. When he is on fire, TCU's offense is one of the hardest to stop in college football. So that is someone I think that they need to focus on. Duggan really likes looking his way, so you could bait him into some mistakes, but you can kind of look at what teams have done in the past to be able to slow down this offense, and that's going to be huge. But Quentin Johnston is so good that it's going to be tough to do. But if you're able to do that, you're going to find ways to be successful. The next thing, you have to hit Max Duggan. If you look at what Kansas State did, they hit Max Duggan as many times as they could, and it worked for them. There were times where Max Duggan made some really poor throws or had some overthrows or whatnot because he was worried about pressure. The more you send pressure, the more you hit him. The more you hit him, the more errant passes he makes. And that's going to help you create turnovers or at least stop drives. And that's something that is going to be huge for Michigan. I think that the hits add up and they get to Max Duggan. I think Max Duggan is still tough as nails. But in the end, any quarterback that gets hit as much as Max did in the Big 12 championship is going to have a tough time moving the ball down the field. It's just plain and simple. That's just how it works. And you're looking at that's how you're going to slow things down. It's going to result in turnovers, and it's going to get the TCU offense out of rhythm. And as we've seen in the past, if you get them out of rhythm, it's going to be tough for them to get back into it. And that's something that gives Michigan time to put up points on the board of their own. And that's going to be huge for them. The final one is don't turn the ball over. Do not give the ball back to TCU's offense. This offense is too good. You can only hold them for so long. And if you're giving them extra opportunities to score points, that's not going to go in your favor. Now, when you look at TCU's defense has created 19 turnovers this year. They have been able to get the ball back to their offense 19 times. It's something they're very good at. It's a big reason why their offense gets more opportunities is because their defense literally just takes the ball away. You can't force the issue if you're Michigan's offense. JJ McCarthy has to be efficient throwing the football. Don't play hero ball. Do what you've been doing the entire year. This is an offense that hasn't just tried to force deep passes. They haven't tried to force explosive plays. You have an offensive line that mauls everybody. You have great play action plays. You have talent at wide receiver that, yes, sometimes can win one-on-one routes. You look at what Cornelius Johnson did to Ohio State secondary. You can do that to TCU secondary. Don't try to force that, though. Just take what the defense gives you, be methodical, and make smart decisions. Take care of the football. That's going to be a big key for Michigan's offense. I don't think I have too many concerns about them trying to stray from that strategy, but that's something that still is important that has to be emphasized for Michigan to win this football game. The top matchups, again, so many top matchups that I'm really excited to watch. I think a big one for me, regardless of who's ready to go, is Will Johnson versus Quentin Johnston. The TCU wide receiver, we already talked about him, what he can do. He presents the ultimate mismatch. Will Johnson, 2 picks in the Big Ten championship game. The freshman's at 6'2". I think that's a matchup I'm really excited to watch. We saw Quentin Johnston and Julius Brents from Kansas State go at it. Brents is 6'4", and that was a fun matchup. I think that we get another exciting matchup. If DJ Turner's not able to go, I don't know his status as the time I'm recording here. So if DJ Turner can't go, then Will Johnson gets a chance to step up. I'm very excited to see how he does against a future first-round pick, and that's something that's going to determine how successful Michigan's defense is. The next one is going to be Mazi Smith versus Alan Ali. This TCU center is the former SMU transfer. He has been the big addition to this offensive line. This is an offensive line that has been very good so far. There are some concerns in terms of preventing sack, but this is still a very good offense. And I think that when you look at what this offense needs to do, they need to keep Max Duggan upright and prevent him from getting hit. Mazi Smith is a freak who has a ton of explosiveness, and that's something that Ali can play a huge role in negating. But if Smith is having his way, then Michigan's defense is going to be just fine. The final matchup, JJ McCarthy versus Max Duggan. Max Duggan is the more explosive playmaker, but JJ McCarthy can play in big time games. We've seen, look what he did against Ohio State, made them look really bad. He had a big game. He's had big games this year. And I think that they just play it different ways. I think that if whoever really does better between the two is probably going to determine the outcome. If JJ McCarthy's playing better than Max Duggan, that means really bad things for TCU. I think that if Max Duggan still is outplaying JJ McCarthy, though, I think Michigan could still be in this game. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a bad thing, but if JJ McCarthy is turning the ball over or struggling, then TCU is going to be in business. Now, to me, I really like this matchup for both Michigan and TCU. I think that Michigan has a chance to send a message. They play a very talented offense, a very talented, explosive offense. And when you look at who they might face in the next game, if they win, you're facing either an Ohio State team that is you already beat, but they know is extremely explosive. It's a good reminder for that. And then if you play Georgia, that's still an offense that has explosive potential, maybe not as explosive as TCU or Ohio State, but you're looking at, exactly what you have to do. It's a good momentum builder, and you're able to win a big game against a really good team. I think that Michigan is the favorite for a reason. I think that they're a very exciting team to watch. And when you're looking at it, Michigan has a lot of things that they can do well to slow down TCU's offense, how they can exploit the TCU defense. And that could put them on a great track to be in the national championship and reach their ultimate goal of winning that title game.